Hi, and welcome to this short training video. This is the Yaesu FT991 radio that our club will be using for Field Day 2017 for both sideband and CW operation. Let me walk through some of the controls on this radio to get you familiar with the FT991 prior to Field Day. This rig has a touchscreen LCD panel, so some control functions require you to press a physical button on the front panel and then press a virtual button on the touchscreen LCD panel. Let's start by learning how to power on the rig. The power button is in the upper left corner of the rig. To power on the rig, assuming it is off, first ensure the external DC power supply is on, and then press and hold the on-off button until the Yaesu Welcome logo appears on the LCD panel. You should see the Whiskey 1 November Radio Golf call sign appear after the Yaesu banner, and then something similar to what's shown here in the picture appear on the LCD panel. The big knob here is the frequency adjust knob. This is coupled with the fast button here, and using the fast button it toggles whether or not you are tuning in a high rate or a low rate. Fine adjust, slow adjust if you want to call it that. Basically turn the knob clockwise to increase frequency and counterclockwise to decrease frequency. Hopefully this is nothing new to any of us. The audio frequency gain or volume control is here. Clockwise to increase the volume, counterclockwise to decrease the volume. RF gain is here. Maximum RF gain is fully clockwise. The multi-function knob is used in conjunction with the touchscreen when making various adjustments, which we will demonstrate later. To change bands, you press this button and select the band of choice from the LCD touchscreen. Mode, such as sideband or CW, is selected by pressing the mode switch and then selecting the mode from the LCD panel. Here's a quick illustration on setting the CW-LSB mode. We'll explain the differences between CW-LSB and CW-USB later in this video, but for now let's assume we'll be operating as CW-LSB. Notice that C-L is indicated when we are set up in the CW-LSB mode. If CW-USB mode was selected, the display would show C-U. Now I'm pressing the mode button, and it's in CW-LSB currently. You can see that by the display. Now if I press the CW-USB, it'll change the display to C-U. Using the meter button in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, you can scroll through and make the SWR meter appear on the screen, as it's shown here. And if you key, got about a 2.0 SWR. That's probably not the greatest thing, so let's tune it. So tune it, turns on the tuner. Press and hold the tuner. It's tuned and it should still stay on. If at the end of the tuning sequence the red indicator showing tune isn't displayed, then the tuner is out of the circuit and the rig could not tune the antenna to the rig. So therefore you don't have a good match and do not transmit. Alright, let's turn this down. So how do you transmit? Well, when you turn on the rig, it's not going to transmit. You just hear side tone when you touch your paddle. So to get it to transmit, like on a Kenwood, that's the Vox button, but on this Yaesu, you hit the FM list, scroll through until you find this button right there. It says BKIN. It'll probably be off. Turn it on, and then hit the FM list again. And now if you key your paddle, you'll be transmitting until it's transmitting by the little red button up there. So that's how you turn on and off transmitting in CW mode. Let's review some of the features of the 991. But first, let me just review one thing that we didn't discuss earlier, and that is the use of a CW key or CW paddle. The Yaesu rig uses an 1/8 inch stereo jack for your input for your key or paddle. Most keys or paddle usually have a 1/4 inch jack, so you'll have to get a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch stereo adapter to be plugged into the Yaesu adapter. We believe we will have these at field day, but be prepared. We have the phones that plug into this, and the 1/8 inch stereo jack for that, and we have the microphone that plugs into the RJ45 connector there. So let's review some of the switches and buttons and the display. So if you want to change modes from sideband to CW to RIDI, etc., you press this button and then make your selection from the LCD panel. If you want to change bands, you select this button and then make your selection from the LCD panel. To tune the radio, press the tune button, or just make sure that the red indicator light is on the LCD panel. If it isn't, press the tune button briefly once and the red indicator should come on. To tune the rig to the radio, press and hold the tune button until you start hearing the clickety-clack of relays. At the end of the sequence of tuning the radio to the rig should keep the red indicator light on the LCD panel. If it doesn't and it shuts it off, it will briefly say high SWR. It very briefly says that and you will miss it. But if that indicator isn't on, the red indicator showing that the tuner is on, at the end of the tune sequence, that means that the rig is not tuned to the antenna and you shouldn't transmit on this frequency. And the audio frequency gain is here, of course, and the RF gain is here, and the main tuning knob is here, and the multifunction knob that goes along with the LCD panel is here. That is the quick synopsis of the Yaesu 991A. Good luck on field day. So we're trying to understand how to use this mode that's called CW LSB and CW USB. And we've got two rigs. One's transmitting on 18070 in CW mode, and this one's receiving 18070 in CW mode. This one's set for receiving in CW LSB mode. If we key up the other transmitter, and it's going to be transmitting something, you can hear the tone. I'm going to change to CW upper sideband, and there's really no tonal change. But if I go off frequency just a little bit by 10 hertz, and I haven't changed my mode, I'm in CW upper sideband. If I go to CW lower sideband, you can see the shift. So if you're on 0B, it doesn't matter whether you're on CW USB or CW LSB, it doesn't matter. And really the only thing that this does is it shifts what you hear.